Hi guys, and welcome to another video. So today I'm going to be talking about my exclusively pumping journey. This is baby number 2 for me and Wiley. With Christopher, our firstborn, he was breastfed for approximately like the first 2 months of his life. I just wasn't producing enough milk. Delivery was a little complicated, and I was on medication and things for the complications that just wasn't helping my milk production. So it eventually dried out, and I was beyond trying to get it back. By the time I was still trying to heal from a C-section and all kinds of things, and so I just let it go. He was formula fed or supplemented with formula since he was in the hospital, and so we just kept it going. Once the milk dried up, I was just like, okay, that's that, and called it a day. When I found out I was pregnant again, one of the things that I was constantly praying about was an opportunity to breastfeed this time around, because I felt like I was missing some part of motherhood by not breastfeeding. So God answered my prayers. I was literally leaking milk while pregnant. I would say I can vividly remember when I was 6 months pregnant, waking up, we were on vacation, and I was drenched. I had fallen asleep and taken a nap, and I literally woke up. There was this huge milk stain on the bed. My clothes were I had on like a romper I had fallen asleep in, and it was drenched in milk. And I was like, what in the world? And so I think from that point on, I was kind of like, because it would happen more and more as I progressed in my pregnancy. I just knew that I was like, I am going to breastfeed for sure this time. And so I didn't have any knowledge of I didn't look up and know about undersupplier or just enough or oversupplier. I didn't think about all of that stuff. I just knew I was just like, I don't want to be able to breastfeed my baby. So I came to know those terms later. I would be a oversupplier if you subscribe to those things. I was pumping about 40 to 50 ounces a day. So yeah, it was a lot going on. I'll give a few tips if you are interested in how to be an oversupplier. I don't really know. This is all my experience. I'm not saying I'm a professional. You need to talk to a lactation consultant, talk to your doctor, talk to a pediatrician, whoever can help you with this. So I want to start with kind of what happened at Kyrie's birth. I guess that will kind of help. So I had Kyrie, and within the first 12 hours or so, I had, of course, tried to feed him. They want you to feed him very often, every hour, whatever. I tried to latch him. I was successful, but then again, not. It just kind of depended on the time of day, how tired I was, and things like that. So we were hit or miss with the latching. I immediately asked them for a manual pump. I had left my Zombie at home when we went to the hospital, and the nurses were surprised at how much I was able to pump of colostrum while I was in the hospital, being that he was so new. My milk came in perfectly fine, no issues there. And I filled up one of those little tubes that they give you for the newborns to drink out of, filled it to the rim. And so they were like, oh my gosh. So I guess that's when they probably knew I was going to be an oversupplier. I didn't really know what was going on. I just thought that that's how it's supposed to go. And I just did it until I felt like my breasts were empty of milk. So that was the first day. Second day, I was done. I was like, I am not latching. The lactation consultant came. I was like, I don't think I'm going to do this. She was like, you should, try it, and encouraging it. And I was like, no, thank you. So she was like, it's your body, you do what you want. I'm like, yes. And he is not about to nurse from me because I just couldn't do it. So we went on to continue to pump. I came home. I immediately started using my Zombie 2. And I was pumping every other hour. I really was pumping whenever Kyrie would eat. Wiley would bottle feed him, of course. And I would be on the pumper as Christopher caused it. And so I would be pumping while he was eating, and so we just kept it like that so that we could continuously stay ahead of him in his feeding schedule. So eventually I got to the point where I was like, look, we gotta do something. I found out about the pitcher method online. I brought it up to Wiley. I was like, I think we should do this. We were freezing so much milk. I do have a very large freezer stash. I'll try to insert a clip in. But we tried that because I was telling him, I was like, look, we have so much milk in this freezer. We actually had to buy a deep freezer. And I told him, you know, we have so much milk stashed up already. I would like to cut back on pumping because it is just, I can't sleep if every other hour. You know, we still had Christopher here and active and all the things, getting him to school, all laundry, all the things. We needed dinner, meals, all this stuff. And so I was just like, for my peace of mind, we need to cut back on this pumping schedule. He's already eating every other hour. We got to wash bottles. It's too much, you know, on us as a team. Even it was still like a lot going on. So, you know, we were freezing so much. And I was just like, look, we're going to run out of room in the freezer. We're going to do the pitcher method. So that we could try to like wean me off of pumping every other hour. It was painful because I was so engorged all the time, but I slowly started backing down. So from every other hour to every 3 hours to every 4 hours, and now I pump 4 times a day. 4 times a day. I pump every 6 hours, and so I wouldn't say exactly every 6 hours. I have 4 times that I've set for myself that work for our family schedule for the most part, unless we get invited to go somewhere or whatever. But just through the majority of our days that work for our family and that I can maintain, because I think that's the most important thing, is that you develop a schedule that you can maintain, because if not, then you're going to just continually keep throwing your body for a loop. So eventually I went back to work, things like that, kept shifting my schedule, and so like, you know, I just kept playing around with times until I found out what worked for me and my family. And so now I have my 4 set times and I do them religiously, and my goal now is to get rid of the middle of the night pump that takes place around 3 to 4 a.m. every morning. I would love to just be able to sleep through the night, especially because Kyrie is sleeping longer through the night, but my body will wake me up and be like, girl, get this milk out. So that is my next goal, is to get rid of that 1 pump and go down to 3 times a day. As it stands right now, I had to answer this question that about how long do I see myself doing this. Like I said, we're right almost at the 6-month mark of breastfeeding or exclusively pumping. I would like to say that I could wrap this thing on up around month 8 or 9. I don't see myself going the full complete year, and that's just because I feel like, you know, second kids, they always start to hit milestones a lot sooner, and so I feel like Kyrie will probably start eating a lot of solid foods a little bit sooner, as long as he has teeth. Like, I think first time parents, you just get kind of nervous like giving your child solids, but this time around, you know, we are doing things a lot sooner. He's had cereal and rice in his milk a lot sooner. We started that around like 4.5 months or so. So yeah, and he's also started like spoon feeding a little bit as well. We started that maybe at 5 months, and so we're doing things a lot sooner this time around. And of course, I'll just see what's going on, and if he has to be formula fed, I have no problem with that. My thing is, fed is best. I don't really care about breastfeeding or formula feeding. I just wanted to try breastfeeding. I don't even know if I would do this for any future pregnancies, honestly, just because I see how difficult it was to do it with already having a toddler here. My mind can't even wrap around trying to like pump, definitely not nurse, and have 2 other children. So this might be my only one go at this. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I guess we can get into any tips that I have. Since I am an oversupplier, I would say to try to pump. If you're going to exclusively pump and not try to nurse and pump, I would say go ahead and start pumping as soon as you can. About the first 12 weeks, you just need to just amp your body up, pump as much as you can. I did the every other hour for the first 12 weeks for sure. I was like on it like clockwork. Sometimes I did oversleep, but I was like immediately hopping up and like, oh my gosh, I forgot, like getting back on schedule and trying to stick to that schedule. I set alarms, I did everything I could to hurry up and get it together. And now, like I said, when starting back at work, because I do work full time as well, once my maternity leave was over, I did have to shake some things up. I do work from home, so, you know, pumping while working wasn't a big deal. Nobody can see me. And I mean, it is what it is. So, you know, just working with whatever your schedule, like I said, whatever realistically can work for you. Like even recently, you know, Christopher, he started soccer, and so our family's schedule is changing, and that's why I said I would like to drop that middle of the night pump so that I can make sure I'm refreshed and ready for soccer in the mornings, because it's really early on Saturdays, and things like that. But just staying consistent with your pumping as soon as possible. Having a really good pump and deciding like which flange size. So this is a 28. Deciding which flange size you're going to need. So my pump actually came with like this little like paper measuring thing, so that I could figure out which one I needed. I started with the 28 when I first came back from the hospital. I then decreased to a 24, and then I decreased to a 21, which is what I use comfortably now. So this is your flange. You're going to want to make sure that you find the correct size so that you can get the most out of your pumps. That goes hand in hand with having a good pump. I would say that one thing that I did learn from the internet was to turn the flange. So most people, I'm so used to turning it now that I don't even hold it the other way. But most people use their flange this way. The portrait or I forget what's the word for it, vertical way. I use mine the horizontal way. So I use it the wide horizontal way that fits more comfortably on me. And like I said, so just doing what is comfortable for you. Something else that I know, I can definitely say on a day-to-day, depending on how much rest I get. I know it's very hard when you have a newborn, but depending on how much rest I get, that really determines my output. So if I am just exhausted, I don't get much from any of my pumps. But when I am able to get rest and stay hydrated, I see a lot of volume. And, you know, just also taking really good care of your breasts, taking care of your skin. They're going to be chapped and all kinds of things are going to happen. I use lanolin. They gave me some in the hospital. I used that until it ran out. And then now I have a tube. I'm not even going to show it to y'all because it's like all beat up. But I put that on every, like, I was putting it on every pump. But I put it on all the time like chapstick. Like, more than chapstick actually. And another thing I would say is to make sure that you have a good nursing bra. Now, but there are different types of nursing bras. Just find one that works for you. I prefer the ones that, you know, you can stick the flange through the hole and it'll, you know, hold itself, versus the one that you can just unsnap and let it flap down, because that's like more of a nursing bra than a pumping bra. And then the bandeau, I just don't like that one. I used that when I was trying to breastfeed Christopher. I just need a good old bra with some straps that I can unhook, stick the flange through, and be hands-free. Because again, like I said, I work full-time. I need to be hands-free. I have a mobile pump this time. Last time with Christopher, I had to be connected to the wall. So some things I did learn from my first time around. I'm not sure if it has to do with like any changes in my insurance, but the difference between last time and this time is that now they actually check in with me, or maybe because I had stopped breastfeeding, I didn't like pay attention to this perk. But my insurance now, they offer a like replacement like situation for pump parts, and so they ask you, are you still using the same pump that they initially sent you? Are you still breastfeeding? They send me an email like every maybe 60 days or so. And so they send replacements. They send tubing. This is what it looks like. I was trying to save it and do an unboxing, and Wiley was like, you need to replace some of these parts of your pump. You need to hurry up and do this video if you're trying to record it. So they send this, and it has, right, now that it's open and we don't have to make all that noise, I can show you guys. So they send replacement of the nozzles. They sent 2 of those. They sent some new duct bills. And these make a major difference in your pumping, I will say. So pay attention to your duct bills. Make sure they are inserted correctly. Make sure that they aren't loose. Make sure that they aren't torn. Make sure that they are like completely pressed in. All of those things. That will make or break a pump session. They send some new bottles, which I wouldn't be able to pump in these anymore because, like I said, I'm producing too much. Send some more tubing, and they send some more flanges. Now, because your flange size can change and will change more than likely, they ask each time, what do you want? And so that's why I have several different sizes. You know, when I initially got my pump, it came with a 24 and a 28. And when I ordered pump parts replacements or whatever, when I was getting my first replacement, I got 24s, and then the second replacements I ordered 21s, and then now this is my 3rd replacement, I believe. And so now I asked them for another set of 24s. I got 24s this time because I forgot to bring them in here, but there are inserts that you can get to make it your correct size. So my correct flange size is a 21. However, this harder plastic doesn't feel comfortable on my skin. And so what I opted to do was get the bigger size up and put the insert in, which makes it a 20. It makes it a 21, and it just feels better on my skin. When I pump, I really don't even feel like I am pumping, and I can turn the power up and get all of my milk out, empty myself completely. Another tip that I would say is make sure that you are emptying yourself completely. I pump for 30 minutes every time that I pump. I do not power pump. I don't think that I ever have, just because I was already, like I said, even from pregnancy, I was already doing a lot. And so I just wasn't trying to like amp it up even the more. This time around, they have added that I can order breast milk storage bags. So I'm no longer storing breast milk for right now, but when I ordered this, I was or was planning to. So I got like 4 packets of those. See, I think I've covered everything regarding this exclusively pumping journey. It has been a tough one. It has taught me a lot about myself. It has taught Wiley and I a lot because we had our little system when we could both make formula and all of that. It was like, you know, everybody could help, but now it felt like a lot was on me. You know, Wiley, he washes and does his part as much as he can, but ultimately it's like, Ebony, you gotta sit down and pump. I have looked at, you know, quitting and just been like, we could just throw all of this away. He could use that stash, and then we could start buying formula. But every time I get ready to do that, like on a serious tip, something happens, and I don't know, like the sessions after I feel like that I do pump, I don't feel it. Like, I don't know how my body responds to it, but maybe that's God's sign to just keep on pushing through, just keep on doing it. So hopefully anybody who watches this was encouraged, inspired, or something like that. If you know, want to talk about it, I'm open. You can leave a comment or write me on Instagram. I hope that, you know, when I look back on this and, you know, I just think about how difficult it was from time to time, that, you know, I know that it was all worth it for Kyrie. I love him so much. And, you know, the times where milk has been spilled or wasted or like whatever, it won't even matter, because as long as he's happy, healthy, and full, that's all that matters. So I'm gonna stop rambling now. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we will see you guys in the next one.